Hey, what is up guys, MurgerMan4 here, and I've been looking forward to this one. Rogue has been my most anticipated episode of the season for a number of reasons. I love a good historical setting, it's written by some fresh, new voices to the show, and something I only recently started longing for, it's quite a traditional Monster of the Week type story, the kind of which this season has severely lacked, much as I admire the breadth of variety we've had. So, does it live up to expectations? Thankfully, I think it does. Right from the cold open, I knew that I was going to enjoy this one. Like I said, the last few weeks I've really started missing a more traditional Doctor Who story, and this scratches that itch tremendously well. The Chulder are a simple but really fun idea for a Doctor Who villain. Shapeshifters that use their abilities to cosplay other people and quite literally live in their skins for a while. I like how their primary interest is witnessing drama and having a good time, even if they have to kill people to do so. And they're a neat design too, with each Chulder looking like a different kind of bird, which gives the species a great visual distinction that most Doctor Who aliens lack. They're never going to be up there with the greats, but yeah, as a one-off, they're a lot of fun. But what about the titular Rogue? Well, it's easy to see why the story's named after him, because he totally steals the show. I absolutely loved his and the Doctor's dynamic. Both of them getting on each other's nerves but secretly loving it, both sharing the same goal but taking different approaches, and both bonding over a shared experience of love and loss. It's absolutely brilliant, and I'm sorry to say, way more interesting than the relationship between the Doctor and Ruby, which, even as we approach the finale, honestly still feels pretty paper thin. I won't lie, I found myself desperately hoping that we were in for a Captain Jack situation, with us unexpectedly gaining a new companion right before the finale. Heck, I found myself wishing this had been the start of the era, and we had a full season of the Doctor and Rogue. Don't get me wrong, Ruby's fine, but I still don't feel like I know her at all, and there were genuinely a couple instances in this episode that I completely forgot she was here. Meanwhile, Rogue is exactly what I like to see in a companion, and really just furthers my desire to have another TARDIS team without anyone from modern-day Earth, because at this point, I'm just bored of that type of companion. Honestly, I don't even mind the romantic angle that much. I'm typically in the camp of the Doctor should be asexual, but A, I do think it works better for Ncuti's Doctor than others, because he wears his hearts on his sleeve in a way most other Doctors don't, and B, I'm a lot more comfortable with it when the love interest is someone similarly spacey to the Doctor, rather than your bog-standard human. So I'd take a romantic relationship with River or Rogue over Rose any day. A couple other things I really liked about that story strand. Both the Doctor and Rogue thinking the other person is responsible for the murders, before realizing they have a shared goal and need to work together, is a lot of fun. I also absolutely love Rogue's introduction to the TARDIS. The Doctor singing Pure Imagination is simply superb, as is the more intimate scene that follows. And the dance sequence is beautifully achieved, as the background lights melt away until we're focused entirely on the Doctor and Rogue. So much good stuff here, and while I am disappointed he isn't joining the show full time, he's gotta be coming back, right? I mean, this much attention isn't usually given to a one-off character. It plays out exactly like a companion introduction would, and that tease at the end with Rogue asking the Doctor to find him, my fingers are crossed that he does. I also have to talk about this scene, and more specifically, Richard E. Grant? I admittedly didn't recognize the face at first, though it did stand out to me, but going online afterwards and seeing who it was just put a big grin on my face. The Shulka Doctor made canon. I can't say I'm the biggest fan of Scream of the Shulka, but I love this kind of unashamed acknowledgement of things that are seemingly incompatible with the main show. How does he fit in? Who knows, but that's just part of the fun. My only disappointment is that we didn't see even more faces like the Morbius Doctors or Doctor Who. What a brilliant, small thing that has such major implications. I love it. Now, I've mostly had very good things to say about this episode, but I won't lie, the ending left me a little underwhelmed. Specifically, the fake-out with Ruby. I think this kind of thing has dramatic merit, but it requires integrity. Mislead the audience, but don't lie to them. And that's just what happens here. We see the flashing lights and hear Ruby scream as though she's been killed, but then when we get to the flashback, this scene plays out entirely differently. Ruby makes the same noises as the other Chulder when she enters the ballroom, even though she isn't a Chulder, and we even get a specially filmed flashback to the Doctor promising Carla he'd keep Ruby safe, which, considering it's a fake-out, is just going way over the top in my opinion. It also makes me question why we never got a scene like this earlier in the season. It seems so bizarre to me that it's well established that Carla knows Ruby is traveling with the Doctor and is okay with it, but we never actually saw her finding out about it. Surely this could have been included at the end of Space Babies. I don't know, stuff like this, alongside how the series arcs have been handled, makes the season feel really messy to me when taken as a whole, even if I've largely enjoyed the individual episodes. And I really don't see how the finale is going to retroactively make the experience a smoother one. Anyway, I've gotten way off topic here, so let's get back to Ruby. There is a really powerful scene here where the Doctor discovers it was Ruby all along, and he has to make the choice to sacrifice his friend to save the world, or sacrifice the world to save his friend. And I do like Rogue taking the burden upon himself, clearly an atonement for having made a similar choice in his past. But again, I do think that the way the story went about it cheapens it a bit. It didn't play fair with the audience, and when you're dealing with something as serious as a companion's death, I think the story either needs to follow through with it, or find a way around it that doesn't contradict what we've already been shown. Oh well. It's my only major criticism of the episode, so I can forgive it. Ultimately though, this is the most fun I've had with Doctor Who for quite some time. There's definitely been some great episodes along the way, but many of my favorites, like 73 Yards or Wild Blue Yonder, are on the more serious side. And even something like The Devil's Cord is a lot more out there than normal. This was just a simple fun ride, and after the run of episodes we've had, that's immensely refreshing to me. So overall, I'm going to be giving Rogue a very high 8 out of 10. It's not perfect, and I do have to acknowledge that a good chunk of my love for it is due to the context in which it was aired, so I don't think it'd be quite as strong if taken individually, but it's still a very entertaining time that I can see myself happily revisiting time and time again. Good stuff. But next week, it's already time for the finale, and I'm very much looking forward to what Russell has in store. However, seeing as it's a two-parter, I'm going to be waiting until we have the full picture, so I'll be releasing my reviews of both The Legend of Ruby Sunday and Empire of Death together. Until then, please let me know your thoughts on Rogue down in the comments below. And Murgaman4, over and out. I'll see you guys later.